Hello, my name is Jason, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit about 3D printing. I recently came back from the Maker Faire, and I made a little slideshow talking a bit about 3D printing. So, what is 3D printing? 3D printing is also called additive manufacturing. It's used to make 3D objects from a 3D model. The modeling is done on a computer, which is then sent to a printer, just like you want to send a normal print job to a printer. The printer then uses whatever material it has, plastic in this case, to print off the item layer by layers. And there are two types of plastics that are generally used: PLA plastic and ABS plastic. PLA plastic is an acronym for polylactic acid. It's biodegradable and it's made from natural resources like cornstarch or tapioca roots or sugarcane. The pros are it can be printed on a cold surface and it's got a wonderful smell when it's actually burning and being used. It can deform because of the heat though, and it's not that sturdy and it tends to break down a little bit easier. Now, aside from polylactic acid, there's also ABS plastic, which is acrylonitrile butadiene styrene. Now, ABS plastic is made out of oil-based resources. It's used a lot in professional manufacturing, like car body, motorcycle helmets, and car bumpers, and golf clubs. It has a much higher melting point than PLA plastic. It's also stronger and it's harder, but it deforms when it's not being printed on a surface which is already heated. Now, there are three different types of 3D printing. There's more than that, but I'm just going to cover the basics. There's FDM, which is fused deposition modeling. It's where a plastic filament, like that, or a metal wire, is unwound from a coil and it's fed up into an extrusion nozzle, and the nozzle is heated up at a very high temperature, which pushes the filament from the nozzle down to the printing bed. And there's also SLA 3D printing, that's stereolithography. Stereolithography is a type of process which it uses a vat of liquid resin and a laser to build the layers of a specific part that you want at a time. For each layer, the laser beam traces a cross-section of the part pattern on the surface of the liquid resin. Exposure to the ultraviolet laser cures and solidifies the pattern as it's being traced on the resin, and it joins the other layers. And the final part is selective laser sintering. It's SLS. It again uses a high-powered laser, but the difference is that the laser fuses a powdered material onto a powdered bed. The bed is lowered by one thickness, and the new material is applied on top of the old material, and then the process is repeated until the part is done. Now, you need 3D modeling software in order to make the 3D model. There's a lot of compatible software that you would use. Like, you can use any sort of standard commercial software like AutoCAD or 3ds Max or Maya, and you can even use open source free software like Blender or Wings 3D. Basically anything that handles a .stl file. If you don't have any 3D modeling skills, you can download other people's models at Thingiverse. You can use services such as Shapeways. What they'll do is users which will design and upload 3D printable files, and then Shapeways will print the objects for you, and then they'll just send them to you. You can also have objects printed from lots of different things, including food-safe ceramics, sandstone, lots of different things. Now, this is what you can print, and here's an example. This is furniture that was completely printed off a 3D printer. And here's some potential. In China, a 3D printed titanium prosthesis was implanted into 3 patients that were suffering from cancerous bone tumors. The patients are recovering and in good condition with their 3D printed bone replacements: a collarbone, a shoulder bone, and the right part of the pelvis. So that's just a few of the things that you can do with 3D printing. I very much believe that 3D printing will pretty much change the world as far as manufacturing is concerned. And like, let's say you have a part that breaks down and it's a proprietary part. Normally you'd have to call the company and you'd have to wait like 2 months for a part to come to your door. When you can just find what you need online, print a part, and there you go. Anyway, once again, I'm Jason, and I hope that I managed to enlighten you a little bit on the world of 3D printing. Bye.